Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode the secrets hidden in plain sight within corporate filings. Today, we are diving into a financial transaction that might seem small at first glance, but could be a big deal for BioRestorative Therapies, Incorporated. This is a company that has been trying to make its mark in the world of regenerative medicine, and they've just announced a new public offering. We will break down all the key details of this deal to see what it really means for the company and its investors. Make sure you are subscribed because we break down these complex documents so you don't have to. And if you want to join a community of fellow corporate finance enthusiasts, our Discord link is in the description below. Enjoy the video. So what exactly is this filing about? BioRestorative Therapies, Inc. is letting the public know about a significant event. They've entered into a material definitive agreement. In simpler terms, they've signed a major contract or deal. This report is all about keeping investors in the loop about important things happening with the company that could affect its stock price. It has to be filed quickly when something big goes down. The earliest reportable event happened on the 11th of February 2026. This is the date we need to focus on for this particular announcement. Our company in focus today is BioRestorative Therapies, Incorporated. They are focusing on cell therapy and other innovative treatments. This company is incorporated in Nevada, which is a popular state for many businesses due to its corporate-friendly laws. This is their official file number with the Securities and Exchange Commission, or CC, and this is their IRS employer identification number. Their principal executive offices are located in Melville, New York, and their main phone number is there if you ever needed to reach them directly. Now let's talk about how their stock is traded. Their common stock is listed on the NASDAQ capital market under the ticker symbol BREX. This tells us it is a publicly traded company. They are stating they are not an emerging growth company, which means they have to follow more stringent reporting rules. This is the core of the filing. BioRestorative Therapies, Incorporated has made a deal. Okay, here's the big news. On the 11th of February 2026, the company started a public offering. Think of a public offering like a company selling new pieces of itself or shares to the public to raise money. They are selling different types of units. First, they are offering what they call common units. Each common unit consists of one share of their common stock and a warrant. A warrant is like a coupon that gives you the right to buy a company's stock at a certain price in the future. These warrants are good for 5 years. The offering price for these common units was $0.35 per unit. Then there are what they call pre-funded units. These are a bit different. Instead of a share of common stock, you get a pre-funded warrant. A pre-funded warrant is essentially a stock you get right away, but it is structured as a warrant that you can exercise immediately for a very small price, almost like you bought the stock directly. These also come with 5-year warrants to buy more common stock. The price for these pre-funded units was $0.3499 per unit. This whole process, which started on the 11th of February, wrapped up on the 13th of February 2026. So it was a pretty quick turnaround. For the common stock warrants, you can buy shares at $0.35. They are ready to be used right away and will expire in 5 years. The pre-funded warrants can be exercised for an incredibly small price, practically zero, and they also remain exercisable until they are fully used. Now let's talk about the money. The company raised about $5.0 million from this offering. This is before they pay for fees and expenses associated with the offering, so the actual amount they keep will be a bit less. What are they going to do with this money? They plan to use it for their clinical trials for their main cell therapy called BRTX-100. This is where they are testing their new treatments. They will also put some of the funds into research and development for their metabolic thermostim program. This sounds like another promising area of their business. And finally, they are investing in developing their commercial biocosmeceuticals, which sounds like products related to beauty and skincare, and also for general business operations, and to have enough cash on hand to keep things running smoothly. All these securities were offered through a registration statement filed with the SEC. This is a standard step for companies selling securities to the public. The registration statement was made effective on the 11th of February 2026. To make this offering happen, the company signed a securities purchase agreement with certain investors. This agreement lays out the terms and conditions of the sale. A key part of this agreement is a lockup period. The company agreed not to issue any new shares or similar securities for 90 days after the deal closes. This is to prevent diluting the value of the shares just sold. They also have a longer restriction for 9 months on entering into agreements related to issuing stock in transactions that involve variable rates, which can be tricky financial arrangements. This agreement also includes standard clauses. It covers things like guarantees from the company. What needs to happen for the deal to be finalized? Who takes responsibility if something goes wrong, especially under the Securities Act, and how the contract can be ended? These are all important but very standard legal protections for both sides. They didn't do this alone. They hired a placement agent, Rodman and Renshaw LLC, to help them find investors and manage the sale. The placement agent gets a fee of 7.0% of all the money raised, so out of the $5.0 million, they'll get a significant chunk. On top of the cash fee, the company will also cover up to $100,000 in expenses for the placement agent, like legal costs. And, as is common, the placement agent also receives warrants to buy stock. They get warrants to purchase up to 350,000 shares. These warrants are exercisable for 5 years at a price of $0.4375 per S-share, which is 125% of the public offering price. This is essentially a bonus for their work. The filing notes that these descriptions are just summaries, and the actual agreements contain all the full details. These agreements are typically filed as exhibits to these reports. This section is about ensuring that all investors receive important information at the same time. Regulation FD, or fair disclosure. On the same day the offering started, the 11th of February 2026, the company issued a press release announcing the pricing. This is how they let everyone know the terms. And on the 13th of February 2026, when the offering closed, they issued another press release. This one announced that the deal was done. This is a technical point. The information provided under this section, which includes the press releases, is being furnished, not filed. This means it is for informational purposes and doesn't carry the same legal weight as a filed document under certain sections of securities law. This is where they list all the supporting documents for the report. Here they list the actual forms of the warrants that were issued. These are incorporated by reference from their previous S-1 filing. This is the form of the main agreement for purchasing the securities. And here is the actual placement agency agreement with Rodman and Renshaw LLC. The press release announcing the pricing of the offering, and the press release announcing the closing of the offering. This confirms that the appropriate people at the company have signed off on this report. The company is officially signing off. The report is dated the 17th of February 2026, and it is signed by Lance Alstott. Lance Alstott is the Chief Executive Officer of BioRestorative Therapies Incorporated. So, looking at this filing, what is the story? BioRestorative Therapies Incorporated is clearly in a phase where they need to raise capital to fuel their research and development, particularly for their cell therapy candidate. BRTX-100 raising $5.0 million is a significant amount for a company of this size and stage. It shows they are actively trying to advance their pipeline. The structure of the offering with units and pre-funded warrants is a common strategy to appeal to different types of investors, and potentially offer more flexibility. The inclusion of warrants for both the investors and the placement agent is typical in these types of offerings. It is designed to incentivize participation and reward the intermediaries. However, we also need to consider the flip side. Issuing new shares, even through units with warrants, can dilute the ownership stake of existing shareholders. The lockup period is a good sign, preventing immediate selling pressure. The company's reliance on future product development for revenue means there are inherent risks. If their clinical trials don't pan out, or if their biocosmeceuticals platform doesn't gain traction, this funding might not be enough to turn things around. The fees paid to the placement agent, 7% cash plus warrants, are substantial and eat into the capital raised. This is a cost of doing business when seeking external funding. For investors, the key will be whether the company can successfully translate this capital into tangible progress and eventually profitable products. The risks are high, but the potential rewards in the biotechnology sector can also be significant if a company develops a breakthrough therapy. In conclusion, BioRestorative Therapies Incorporated is executing a common but critical corporate finance maneuver to secure funding for its ambitious projects. The success of this strategy hinges on their ability to execute their research, development, and commercialization plans. Alright, that is our deep dive into BioRestorative Therapies Incorporated's latest filing. What is your take on this offering and what it means for the company's future? Let us know in the comments below if you found this breakdown helpful. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more regular dissections of corporate filings. Don't forget to join our Discord community for more in-depth discussions. The link is in the description. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one.